Now we know that this question is based on average velocity, which is actually the total displacement by total time. Now, when we say total displacement, actually refers from where did the motion start, right, till where did the motion end, and when starting and end, all with respect to observation and not the actual motion. And of course, the total time, which signifies how long did it take to cover this start of observation and end of observation, right? Now, you might be having a question here. What about instantaneous velocity then? If you're talking about average velocity, well, that's the very next question that we're going to discuss, which is based on non-uniform motion, instantaneous and average velocity. I don't want to go much into instantaneous velocity here. So for the time being, let's just understand that the velocity between the start of observation and the end of observation is dependent on the displacement between the start of observation and the end of observation by the time taken to cover from the start to the end, again, not of the motion, rather of the observation. Okay. Now, why are we emphasizing this much on PYQs? So, what is this question about? Finding the average velocity in this motion. Well, of course, not to find the average velocity. It's about average velocity because we've been asked to find out V2 given V1 and V average. So we've been given V average, we know V1, and we've been asked to find out V2. But the point is, it's based on average velocity, 2025. Now, when we come to 2023, let's see what we have here. So 2023, again, 2023 January, what we see is speed of 10 meter per second, 15 meter per second. The whole time of motion is x by 7. Then the value of x is the mean speed of the rider averaged, which again, it stands for average speed. Okay. Another question, the same JE means 4 kilometer, 4 kilometer with speed of 3 kilometer per hour, another 4 kilometer speed of 5 kilometer per hour. Then the average speed is again based on the same question, right? Same concept. So this is not sure. I think this is in 2022. Look at that average velocity again, right? Same. I mean, it is literally the same thing that's been asked over and over again in the last few years. Well, last few consecutive years. The 2024, 1 year before, right? What do we have here? Starting from rest, uniform acceleration, 80 kilometer per hour, constant speed, 3t, duration of journey, the average speed of the train. So it is definitely the case that if you spend some time to understand the concept of average velocity, again, that is as was in 2023. So look at this 2023 January session and an April session. So even if you have prepared PYQ for the January session and then appeared for the same for the April 2023 session, then you feel more confident. So PYQs is the key. Practicing them, well, not just practicing them, understanding the concept of the question, understanding the beauty of the idea that is given there, and of course appreciating each and every option. That's what's the most important thing. That's where we miss out the key points, because we are often interested in finding only the correct option. We just neglect the other options, and not in the case of numericals, but in the in questions where we have statements, we just neglect the other statements, and we just don't think, why is the statement given there? So there could be something very significant, and it might be the case for the next PYQ. Okay. Now look at this again. I think this was question was from 2019 or 2020. Look at this average speed again. So this topic is without a doubt, no question is asked about it, one of the most important ones in the first chapter. I mean, I can guarantee you that if you just learn average speed, you get one question for sure in JE means. And that goes the same for motion under gravity as well. Okay. Right. So we discussed the significance of this topic by referring to the PYQs. Now I'm not giving you any, random thoughts here. I'm just giving you all evidence-based stuffs. This has just proves that um, PYQs is the single most thing that you should be practicing for your, uh, you know, to clear this exam. Okay, right. Now let's try to visualize what's given in the question here. So a person traveling on a straight line moves with a uniform velocity v1 for a distance x. So we need to have two distances here. This is distance x, AB, and with a uniform velocity. And next 3 by 2x. What is 3 by 2 is 1.5. So this essentially means 1.5 times of this. Okay, this is not an accurate depiction. It's just an approximation. So CD is basically 1.5 times of AB. And that's the velocity of this average velocity of this motion is 50 by 7. And it is given to us that v1 is equal to, how much is that? 5 meter per second, which means the velocity to cover this distance is 5 meter per second. And we've been asked to find out the velocity to cover CD. Okay. So if you have not started taking down the notes along with me, this is where you started. Okay. So very humble request. Please keep your pens moving all the time. Right? Draw this along with me. Pause the solution. Draw it with me. Draw it along with me. Make sure that you don't skip any diagram here. See, of course, spending 10 to 15 minutes for one learning one question is a huge thing. You can just do it in 1 or 2 minutes. I'm not saying that that's not the case. But the point is, we are now learning how to solve this question. We have not yet started the actual practice of solving the question in an exam scenario. That's something we have kept it for the later series. No, not now. I will take you through how to beat the same question in less than 1 minute when when you give this for the actual test. This is not something that we are going to do now. We're just trying to focus ourselves to understand the concept in detail, to learn how to visualize the data and the question, and how to apply the concept. Okay. So AB is x, which is covered in, say, time t1, corresponding velocity is v1. CD is 3 by 2 of x, time covered in time t2 with a velocity v2. Okay. And for the motion along AB, for this path of the motion, which is x t1 v1, time to cover AB is equal to displacement of AB here by velocity of AB. Right? Why? Because we know that velocity is equal to distance by time, and therefore crossing this time is equal to distance by displacement by velocity. What is the displacement here? The shortest path between A and B, which is x, and velocity to cover AB is, so the velocity to cover AB is v1. So what do you have expression for time? Time t1 is x by v1 here. Okay. Now, for the motion along CD, which is the second path, CD, 3 by 2x, t2 and v2, time CD, time to cover CD is equal to displacement CD by velocity of to cover CD, which is 3 by 2x by v2. So T2 here is 3 by 2x by v2. Right? Now let's just put both of these together. So we have along AB, time t1 is equal to x by v1, right? Time t1 is here equal to x by v1, and time t2 is equal to x by v2. Well, my bad, it should be 3 by 2 x by v2. Okay. And why are we doing this? Because for average velocity, we know that the formula is tau total displacement by total time. And total time actually stands for T1 plus T2. Therefore, the need for T1 and T2 here. Okay. Now, the formula for velocity average gives total displacement by total time. What is the total displacement? The total displacement here stands for displacement along AB plus displacement along CD divided by total time, which is T1 plus T2. Now, what is displacement along AB? X. What is displacement along CD? It is 3 by 2x, right? Now, T1 and T2, x by V1, T2, 3 by 2x V2. Right? The next step, what we do is we divide this complete equation by x on the right side, divided by x on the right side. So, x by x is 1, x by x is 1, 1, 1. And what we get is 1 plus 3 by 2, 1 plus 3 by 2 here, 1 by V1 plus 3 by 2 V2, 3 by 2 V2. Okay. And in this part here, we use the given data, which is the average velocity is 50 by 7, which means we can replace this average velocity by 50 by 7, and V1 is 5. So this V1 can now be replaced with 5. Okay. And when we do that, V average here is replaced by 50 by 7. V1 here is replaced by 5. Okay. Now it's just the algebra, something that's very easy to do. But yet I've made sure that I've broken down every step for you. Okay. So 5 by 2, 2v2 times 1 is 2v2, 5 times 3 is 15, 5 times 2 is 10v2. Now taking the reciprocal here, 5 by 2 times the reciprocal of this one, which is 10v2 divided by 2v2 plus 15. Why? Okay, I just don't want, at least some of us might need this, so I don't want to rush through that as well. So we have a by b divided by c by d is actually a by b times d by c. Okay, right. Now, keeping these two together, we can multiply 2 to the other side, 5 here and 10 here. What we get is 50 times 2. So 10 times 5 is 50. So this is 2 by 7 here, right? And for ease of calculation, what I've done is I've taken the reciprocal on both sides, reciprocal on both sides of equation, reciprocal on both sides of the equation. Now see, if you're preparing this in an offline setting, I'm pretty sure some of us might be taking some time, some additional time to solve this calculation as I'm doing it here. And you might see that your classmates, your friends, or aspirants who are preparing along with you would be finishing this soon. Now, do not get bothered or do not get kind of annoyed or feel demotivated by them doing these kind of questions fastly or rather very quick. You cannot beat others. Always keep this in mind. You just can't beat others. The only person who you can beat as an aspirant is you yourself. Because there's always someone who's smarter than us, and there's always someone who will definitely beat us in the exam. I'm not trying to imply that no one can make it to all day rank one. No. The point is, while you're preparing for the actual exam, you just can't beat anyone else. The only person to beat is to beat you. I mean, to beat your own records. Okay. So Don't mind solving these questions by taking some more time, taking more, basic steps, breaking down it to further steps to calculate and get to the answer. Solving a question quickly doesn't mean not spending time to understand how to solve it. Okay? Take your time. We just started with the course. This is the first chapter here. Take your time. Spend a lot of time in learning how to solve these questions. Once you do the revision, things becomes, kind of more fluidic to you. Okay? Now, this further gives us 7 by 2 is equal to 2v2 plus 15 by v2. Cross multiplying this, we get 7v2 is equal to 4v2 plus 30. 4v2 to the other side, 7 minus 4v2, which is 3v2 is equal to 30, which gives v2 is equal to 30 divided by 3, which is 10. And therefore, the answer, the average velocity in this motion is 15 meter per second. If v1 is 5 meter per second, then v2 is 10 meter per second. Okay. So, yes, I do understand that the numerical part is very simple here. The key point to understand here is this one. This visualization should be very clear to you. Okay. So, pause for a minute. Make sure you understand what's given here and then proceed to the next solution. I think this marks the end of the first topic in 2025. So maybe we can now move on to the next one, which is non-uniform motion in 2025. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And see, if you feel any doubt in any of the problems that we're trying to solve here, please make sure that please feel free to interact. Please make sure that don't be worried about the silliness of the question. Even the most silly thing that you feel on your own might be a very significant question that will help you to definitely crack this question when it is asked for the actual test. So do not hesitate. Do not pull yourself back to ask a doubt that you have in your mind. Okay, clear it right away. Okay, right.